Here's 3 Fish on the Shirt from Amazon Music.
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Good evening. Welcome, Steve, to another edition of Three Fish on the Shirt, number 22. Can you believe it?
22.
Yeah.
Flipping out. Flown by.
I know. So for anybody
Hello, Dave.
listening for the first time, I'm Dave Dixon. And Steve, you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Steve Risley, Dave's partner in crime
We're both
on the podcast.
mariners of many decades of following town, and probably the first few first few years were the best in some respects.
Yeah. It was the 79-80 season.
Yeah, we're persevering. There'll be a special on that at some stage. So watch this space, and we've got a stellar guest list for the new year. So if you've not followed many of our episodes so far, look out for what's coming in the new year. Can't announce any just yet, but there's definitely some good names in the bag for us to announce in the new year. So I'm looking forward to being able to tell you all about those. So that's great news, Steve. We'll look forward to sharing that news when we can.
Yes, we've already had some good guests on on previous episodes. John Tonder.
Yeah, John was a great episode. Adam Summerton.
Yeah.
Kieran Maguire was a good one, and I spoke to Jason Stockwood at the weekend, and he actually spoke about the pod and said he'd had a listen, and particularly that episode it was an interest to him because it was quite judgmental on the ownership. So I think he was quite a vested interest in that one. So
yeah, he'd like that. Yeah,
that was nice of him to comment. So yeah, that was another one of the ones, and of course Steve Saunders, and we've got more.
That was an interesting one.
Yeah, and more former players to come. We know we've got coming on. So and one of them is a former player. So again, watch this space. So another disappointing week, Steve, for the town faithful, having played at home again and capitulated to Crewe 2-0. What did you make of the game at the weekend?
I thought it was a good game in parts. There was some good football played. Both teams wanted to play football, but there were some scrappy bits as well. But then it was decided by two breakaway goals, long ball goals, which didn't expect. But I thought we played okay, but just didn't loads of possession, but we just didn't do anything with it, did we? We didn't get any balls in the box. Didn't get down the sides enough until later in the game. We did it a few times.
We got caught pushing it a bit, didn't we?
We did on the edge of the box,
in many ways.
Svan Thorson lost the ball one. I think Luca lost the ball on another first goal, and Hume, he plays so high up, and we're going to get caught if we lose it on the edge of the box there. And I sort of expected. I sort of go now expecting we're not going to win at home. Although I always hope we're going to win, but I wasn't actually too disappointed because I thought they were an excellent team, Crewe. I thought they were really good.
I think a lot of people, there's been quite a bit of reaction in that sort of vein to say, you know what, we're not all right. It's not great. We're disappointed, but Crewe out-towned us in terms of playing an away game like we would have done. Gone in, defended resolutely, made the best of chances when they've come along, and really done us. But we didn't really look like scoring at all on Saturday, did we?
That was it. We never got anywhere near it. I just didn't see us scoring, and we had one shot on target, and just didn't create enough. But they set up to stop us, and we
Definitely,
didn't have the nous.
and
We didn't have the nous to break them down.
Yeah.
So, and they knew what they were doing, and we had 62% possession, so quite a high possession, but only one shot on target.
yeah, and that
So
wasn't great, was it? It was a little
No.
flick over the shoulder from Doug Tharm, who
yeah.
I think a header over the bar in the first half, which he probably ought to have got that down after Hume's outswinging free kick. But also that chance was kind of nothing. It wasn't exactly
Nothing. Yeah.
difficult save for the keeper.
So I left not too disappointed. I've been a lot more disappointed leaving matches.
Yeah.
Really annoyed.
Yeah.
But I saw we got beaten by a good team and who are above us, and they'll be right up there, if not top 3. So, and where we are, I'm quite happy. But you just have to keep going. Just hopefully we'll get another home win on Boxing Day.
Yeah, the thing that annoys me the most is as I walk out the ground, seeing the away fans celebrating with the away team in front of them, which is fantastic when you're an away fan. And I love to do it when we're away from home, but
we hate it. I've seen it too often.
Exactly the point, and I think that sort of home record is starting to grate a bit now, isn't it? And like I said,
you'll have to do this as we walk out. These
blinkers.
Just don't look.
Your blinkers on. You'll have to steer me in the right way, Steve.
Yeah, but we mentioned it at the game, and after the game, the atmosphere was really good.
Yeah,
Saturday,
and
so there's no excuses there.
Having mentioned it before the game, and David Artell, without being overly critical, sort of just said the away support's better than the home support in terms of rallying the team. And so, without being hypercritical, saying it was bad, he was just saying one was better than the other.
He did praise the atmosphere.
He did at the weekend, and that was the point I was making.
Right, yeah.
But he, it is flat at times, and I think particularly after the first goal went in, there was a big sort of roar and rallying cry from the fans, wasn't there? Which was good. And I don't think we really got on them at the weekend. I think we stuck by them, and I say we because we were part of that. But it's disappointing.
But the point, like second halves, we're kicking towards the pontoon. We've had very little to cheer about in front of the pontoon, goal-wise. Next to nothing. We've got an own goal in the Accrington game, wasn't it?
We had the Cheltenham. We had that. We were spoilt at the start of the season. We had Vernham and Davis's free kick in that Cheltenham game, which were absolute worldies, both of them. Bradford, we had Svan Thorsson's, which I missed because of having a piss.
A beer and a piss.
A Bromley, a penalty from Danny Rose.
We can remember every goal.
At Walsall, I missed because I left early. That was Donovan Wilson managed to score in the pontoon end. MK Dons was at the other end. And Accrington, 4 of the 5 goals were at the other end. And the one that we did get at our end was an own goal. So
it was a 1-foot screamer.
Yeah. You start to wonder whether is it fear of the pontoon end, but
Do you remember years ago when we actually the home fans went in the Osmond?
Yeah.
Swapped ends. I mean, that's a long time ago. I can't remember why we did it.
I do remember that. Yeah, I don't know if was it to do with the seating, but it wasn't. I wonder if it was another attempt to improve the atmosphere, because the one thing that end's got is it keeps the sound in, doesn't it? And it sort of rattles it down the ground.
I can't remember if it's safety or something. I don't know. We'll have to. Anybody out there know? Let us know.
Yeah, it may have been the wooden slats, and when the stand was wooden, it may have been to do with having fewer numbers in there. I don't know. So it's always been the stronghold of the home fans, but you've got a lot of people now with season ticket holders seating who probably wouldn't still be in there if it was standing. Because quite a few older people in there now, aren't there?
You want to do with putting seats? No, it won't be that, would it?
No, it wasn't, because I remember remember back to, I think it was 83, 84 when it was Arsenal at home. In town played Arsenal.
In the cup,
and they lost 4-3. The
Charlie Nicholas.
Arsenal fans were in the pontoon, and you look at that and you think it looks weird nowadays to see that.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that now. Yeah.
But in the days when you got the big crowd behind the goal, all stood shoulder to shoulder, half the people who sit round us won't be there. In there, your
That's right, yeah.
dad won't go in there. Half the row in front of us won't go, would they? In there, stood up.
No,
There's
won't
quite
do.
a few rows behind us of people who wouldn't. And it shows when it's all season tickets now. If nobody comes to that area, nobody can come in to sort of fill the gap and stand together, can they? Because
No,
it kind of there's just seats dotted about, and so you lose that sort of concentration of people. So I don't know. It's difficult to know, isn't it? Exactly. But in terms of the football, I think the genuinely most sensible town fans can see that it's heading the right way and the right things are happening. It's just a bit of a shame that it's a bit stop-start, isn't it?
it is. You look at the league table, and we're 7th, and it's like, we are there. I know there's a couple of teams below us got games in hand, but we still have a solid 7th. Won 10, drawn 1, lost 9, with a -3 goal difference still. But
Yeah.
it is you'd have still taken that at the start of the season after 20 games.
At the start of the season,
So,
there's no way you
yeah.
would have said, would you say win half your games? Yes, please.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Win percentage of 50%, and it's
and
that'll do.
again, we've said it before, haven't we? The points tally of 31 is probably not far off. It's about 16 points from where we were last season at the end of the season.
At the end of the season,
So if we can have a good back end of 2024 and a good couple of results in early 2025, we'll not be far off our total for last season before we get into the second half of the season.
Couple more wins, 37 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Halfway.
Yeah.
So we'll take that.
There are a couple of teams below us, not with games in hand, but I've always felt that points in the bag is better than games in hand. So
yeah, it's very tight. There's like we're on 31, and then Salford in 12th are on 27.
Well, if you said at the start of the season we'll be neck and neck with Chesterfield, ahead of Bradford, Notts County, people like that, you'd have been reasonably happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So not too disappointed at the minute after Saturday.
Never nice to walk away from a defeat, but we keep it in perspective, I think, is the key. Worryingly, though, the home form, I've just been looking at the home form for 2024 in total. We played 21, won 8, drawn 2, lost 11.
Right.
Not great. We've scored 30 and let in 45. Although most of those were in those back end of the season games last year, where we let in 6 against Walsall, 5 against Notts County, 5 against Donny, 3 against Wrexham. We've had a few blowouts this year at home, but
we have,
fewer goals flying in, thankfully.
I mean, it's only Carlisle who are bottom. They've only conceded 2 more than us.
Yeah, but
32.
They haven't won many games, have they? So.
Well, now 4, 3.
They've only scored 15 goals. And there's some teams down there, we think we have trouble scoring goals. We're in the top third of goal scorers. And when you look at teams like Tranmere, 14 are the lowest scorers on 21 points. They had a few, fortunately for them, they had a few early games that were 0-0 and 0-1 and 1-0. So that popped them up with points. But the bottom of the table, I mean, Carlisle have only scored 15. It's about them key games. In our games, and I look at this last week, in our games where we've blown out the score, in the 4-1s and the 5-1s, I think before Saturday's game, our defeats to Notts County, Doncaster, Walsall and MK Dons accounted for 14 goals. 4-3, 4-3, 7, 14 goals. That was half of what we conceded just in those 4 games.
In 4 games, So the other 16 games,
but you can almost say those excess goals, if you like, almost don't matter, because if we'd have lost 1-0, we'd have just lost the opportunity, the same number of points. All right, it may be adverse at the end of the season by a point if we have to differentiate ourselves from a team above on goal difference.
It's only a point, isn't it?
But it's
1
not.
point.
Yes, but it's not the massive disaster.
No.
Other than it not being very good for morale, that it could be. You can almost say, well, it's the same as any other defeat. Apart from the fact it's worse than we would have liked. You've got to move on from it, is the message, isn't it? It was only the loss of 3 points, and it's probably no more damaging than Fleetwood on the first day of the season 1-0.
That's it. We've got to three. Was it 3 more games this year? So 2 at home.
But,
is it 2 at home?
Yeah.
We've got Swindon away, then Harrogate.
It's Harrogate at home. It's the only game at home, isn't it?
Yeah. No, we got thingy, haven't we, on the Sunday?
Port Vale. Sorry, yeah.
Port Vale, yeah. So big game that as well.
Game, that one, yeah. And that again points out something, that if you look at the top of the table, we've got beat by the ones above us at home. The only team we've beaten above us is Wimbledon in that away game, which shows what a great result that was.
Yeah.
The other thing about those 4 games which I mentioned is that was half the goals we conceded in just those 4 games. Not half the goals away from home, half that total number of goals we conceded was just in them 4 games.
Just in them 4 games, yeah.
14 out of 28 before the weekend's game.
So we need to erase them from our memory.
Yeah, and not dwell on them. So looking at the overall year, like I say, it's just over a third of games won, 8 out of 21, 2 drawn and 11 defeats, and that's pretty damaging from a fan's morale point of view, isn't it? Especially the home fans. But what's going to help? Getting behind the fans, getting behind the team rather, is probably the only way to counter that.
Yeah.
So moving on, we've got Swindon next Saturday, which brings us back to our old mate, Mr. Holloway. Engaged over the weekend with a few Swindon fans after his outburst at the weekend. He went full Rob Scott. On his away followers at Bradford.
Yeah, said if you don't like it, don't come. That's just my opinion. He kept on saying.
And how long has he been there now? How many warnings have we sort of given to Swindon fans? And they are very split. You're getting comments from them such as, "Oh well, you can't beat a bit of passion. What's wrong with it? He's a good egg, and it's because he cares and all the rest of it." And then there's the other lot saying, "What an embarrassment!"
Exactly. Yeah.
The club's in the.
And I keep chipping in with a few comments on a few posts saying, "It will take you down, boys." Or it's all about him. It just seems to be about him.
Well, I think
he comes across as passionate, but we know we've been here. We've been there.
Your club gets more publicity as a result of him, but it's not always it's not always for good reason. And the challenge is, look at the scenario: crap club in the crap, owners not well liked by the fans. Who do you bring in to rescue? Holloway. Well, it fits the bill for a replication of what he did to us, doesn't it? And he's going off on one already. We've had all the bullshit about the training ground being haunted and all that crap. And then you've had him, calling out his fans at the weekend. And
you can't. You think they would know what happened here at Grimsby with him? But and he's been out of football. Is that his first job since?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but why? Why would they take him on after? They must have interviewed him, asking what happened at Grimsby, or I don't know. He has had success, but limited.
But his background is with owners that are not well liked by fans, and do that sort of people go for that sort of people? I don't know.
Well, we've got to go down there and beat him.
If the players need any motivation at the weekend for pleasing the fans, it's going and sticking one on him, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he needs to be put down. Not put down literally, but
we can't condone that sort of behaviour, Steve. But yeah.
So, Ghostbusters
Ghostbusters
away.
ahoy! Yeah, let's get in there and get him
What's he like?
spooked.
Yeah,
One thing.
yeah. Looking for
Sorry, go on.
it's going to be a. No, as I say, they're there for the taking with our away form. They're third from bottom, so they lost at the weekend.
Mm.
I think they've only won one in sort of like six.
Yeah,
So
that was the week before, wasn't it?
it's set up for us to do an away job on them, like
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah, let's hope so. But it'd be great for us to keep that record going. Got 7 at the minute, 7 unbeaten.
Unbelievable.
6 wins and a draw. Yeah, if we could get that
Listen,
ongoing, it'd be even better, wouldn't it?
yeah, and then Harrogate at home's winnable. So
Yeah.
said that before. But
Well, I said that about Weldstone as well in the cup. Yeah, winnable.
Colchester.
Winnable draw. Yeah, I think on balance, though, what it does say about this league is anyone can beat anyone on the day, and that includes some of the top sides as well. I think it's
Yeah,
important to recognise that it's quite an open league, but it's competitive, and anyone can beat anyone.
yeah. We've not seen many bad teams. Accrington we beat 5-2. They weren't great, but
Yeah.
the rest of the teams have been pretty all right.
I think we had a pretty good night that night. I like to think we were the architects of Accrington's downfall to some extent as well. Just got they didn't play us the right way. Say like a Crewe,
Yeah,
their press was very, very much front middle, and sort of had like an arrow, wasn't it? Whereas other teams that press wide across the pitch tend to give us a few more problems. So yeah, so we've got the game this week. We've got the game against Swindon. So the proposal is from a podcast point of view that we have today's episode 22, 23 after the Swindon game. Episode 24 will cover the Harrogate and Port Vale games over Christmas, and we'll just do one record over that. And then for Accrington and Bradford away on the 1st and the 4th, we'll do an episode covering those 2 games as well. So that's the plan.
Yeah.
All things being equal, so they just come too thick and fast to keep pace. So we'll cover them in that way. Just going back to Crewe, one thing we haven't done, Steve, is updated the attendance competition score. You're making a bit of a comeback. So at the weekend we had 5,745 in, and what was your guess?
5,250.
And mine was 5,180, meaning you are now 5-3 behind in the overall competition. We've evened it up now in terms of you being able to go first. We noticed I was pulling ahead with the advantage of going first, unwittingly.
I know.
So
I wanted to redo it because I had another look round and thought, oh, there might be a few more here. But
yeah, so we just go back to the weekend. You'd raised a point about missing McEachran.
McCracken, yeah, not starting. I don't know quite why.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on the reason beforehand, and I didn't particularly pick on it afterwards. But I didn't hear all of David Artell's Humberside after match. So what did you pick up?
Well, Matt Dean asked him, and he sort of said that he didn't play him. It wasn't an injury. He confirmed that, and just said I've already sort of said why. But I'm surprised Matt Dean didn't push him on it a little bit.
Unless he'd said it in a previous
maybe
interview in the week. But I thought I'd heard everything he'd given out in the week.
So maybe it was just tactical and put Thompson there instead to sit a bit more. But yeah, but the way he's been playing, I think he should be playing. Should be starting.
I think we missed him in the first half. I think Crewe found the way to boss the midfield, didn't they, and break up play easily. And we get frustrated when we run into trouble. And I don't know why. Sometimes we don't bypass it. And I know there's not the want to just lump it forward. And I don't mean just lump it forward. I mean, but in certain circumstances, rather than just pass it around the midfield from side to side, just get one in the box and get somebody on the end of it. If it's just a Greenie flying forward. I mean, Greenie's decent in the air. Just get somebody challenging. Give them some. It's back to that. Give them something to think about, because if you don't, they're just rinsing and repeating the same stuff, and they've got it under control, and they just feel they're comfortable. And I just thought the longer the game went on Saturday, the more that was the case playing out.
Yeah, we didn't give him anything to think about at all. Whereas McCracken would do that.
You know,
So a bit of
because he's breaking up play and brings it out, doesn't he?
Yeah. And also we lost a big Crewe in the first half
That was a
against
blow.
us.
I mean, it's the second game running he's been off, isn't it? So
so because he's obviously going with him now at the minute, and he's done well ahead of Rose. But shame we lost him. So hopefully he's fit for Saturday.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
But that's
yeah. Any other sort of news from around the place you've picked up on?
There was the draw for the Youth Cup.
Oh, that was good. That was a good.
Spurs at home. Is it at home? Sorry.
Yeah. It'd be nice to see him get a decent crowd in for that, wouldn't it? We'll have to look at going if it's on a date.
I would like to go if it's if I can. Yeah.
It'd be nice to see him to get a 4-figure gate, wouldn't it?
And, I've mentioned I've got a couple of colleagues, and they've said they'll be interested in going because they're Spurs fans. So it'd be good if we can get a decent crowd in from.
Yeah, and there's a link to the youth setup of the young team set up in Spurs. It's Wayne Burnett is there or was.
That's right. He is. He's still there. Yeah. Golden.
Yeah, golden goal man. The only player to score a golden goal for us.
Yeah. Might be one of the only very few people to score a golden goal.
There's not many, is there?
To win a trophy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just going back, Jordan Wright was given man of the match.
Yeah. Probably fair.
I'm
sort of bit of sort of raised eyebrows, but then when you think about it, probably not bad because he did make some decent saves, didn't he, at the weekend?
He did. I mean, if you go through the team, and you think, no. And Jordan Wright, he did okay. You couldn't fault him for the second. I've just got a note here that should he have come out for the.
If he had been at fault, if he didn't, he's at fault. He can't win, can he? That one.
Yeah, if he stayed where he was and then just put it past him, then he should have come out. So
he only wouldn't have been at fault had they not scored.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So and there was a slight thing about the second goal being offside, but which Artel said it was definitely offside. I've had a look. I think it was. But
so we'd have just lost 1-0 instead then.
Yeah. So it's just that those two. Jordan Wright is coming on nicely.
I'll tell you what else I picked up at the weekend is and before Pike, Raquel Pike starting to get mentions and getting on the pitch and actually not doing too bad at the weekend.
He did well actually. Yeah, he was back getting in our own half, wasn't he? Picking the ball up, looking for the ball.
Oh, at one point, with the sort of critically, somebody said, "What the bloody hell's he doing back there?" We said he's doing what everyone else is not doing. He's getting the ball and bringing it back up here
because nobody's giving him the ball.
But he's been notably absent and notably not mentioned very much. And I just thought of him and Wilson in the kind of exit waiting room for the window. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe there's a ray of light for him, and they want to keep him. Or maybe it's just that they've said to him, "Look, we'll let you go. We'll get you in the team to when it's possible to give you minutes, so that you can show people that you're up and playing again, so that it make it easier for you to go." But
that's right.
Donovan Wilson maybe unfairly think there's maybe been a fallout after the last comments when he missed the game through not being able to take the bench. I think was the official line, wasn't it?
Anxiety, performance anxiety.
That was one suggestion, wasn't it?
Otherwise, no. What's he doing? Not again. Oh, the old hamstring.
Yeah.
So he's.
I had money on them, both of them going out the door at the end of the season.
I think Pike did quite well on Saturday when he came. When he put himself about, obviously he was told, get on, get the ball, get as much as you can. But if a can't say his name, a Bukwu is going to be out potentially for a couple of weeks, or he's going to be rested, then he's got a chance, hasn't he?
Yeah.
To come in and see what he's about. So Yeah, so that was it really, and then Rogers is back.
Yeah.
Available on Saturday, so we'll be interested in see what he does.
Yeah.
He comes back in or not.
He was. I managed to get into the Christmas meal before the game with the chuffers, as they're called, and Harvey Rogers was in there doing the smoozing around the tables and stuff, and I had a quick chat with him, and he was disappointed to be out. It breaks up his run of games, which he's felt he's got a bit of consistency going, and he also sort of said, it's my own fault, and in many ways disappointment that it was the last possible game to get a suspension, because they after Saturday's game they all get expunged, and
That's right.
the point system starts again. So that was an extra disappointment for him.
Yeah, because he's had a couple of bookings where he's mouthed off, I think, and preventable bookings, as David Attell says.
And in terms of the other player we managed to speak to at the weekend was Jake Eastwood, who obviously is making some headway in his way back from the
nasty injury
he got at Carlisle. He was interviewed by David Smith over the weekend, and said he's doing fine. He's looking to get back on the grass in the new year, probably well into the new year, but it's a long way back for him. I think he was wandering around the room, not hobbling, but I guess it's easy in that sort of tiny space to be shuffling around without looking like you're struggling.
I wonder what's happening about that, because I noticed at the weekend, I can't remember what game it was in the Premier League, there was a goal he went in the back of the net, and I noticed it looked like the same design. It's not changed.
Well,
and he was I think it was Villa's keeper.
Yeah.
And
Martinez.
He went in the back of the net. Yeah, and he got a graze on his, and he was really close to the bracket. So I was like, why?
It just seems weird that it must be to do with the way they could fold them up, and then they can take them out and move them easily. Because in the old days, you wouldn't have had that frame round the bottom that the net pins to. The net was pinned into the floor, wasn't it?
That's right. The frame. Yeah.
In the olden days. Now you've got that rail around the bottom that the net's pinned to and to the ground, which means you've got to have something to push it up against, and that's the only thing stopping that bracket needing. If it was just a bracket, it could just slot into the post, couldn't it? Without the need for a bracket, all the strength for it could be built inside to go inside the post.
I just wonder if it could happen again to another keeper.
Yeah, it could. And the Lincoln. Sorry, go on.
No, say a keeper or a player.
Yeah, there was a picture of Lincoln's goalmouth, just like a promotional picture and a bit of news about something to do with Lincoln on Twitter today. And I looked at the goal and it had a nice chunky thing on as well. It's a very, very standard thing by the looks of it.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah,
but he seemed to be in decent spirits, and they took a few questions, and I asked him about what his highlight was in the town shirt, and he said, "Well, in my limited time, in the number one shirt, with a difficult season where we're fighting relegation." He said the back end of last season, the home games against Forest Green and Swindon, where we finally got clear of the pack at the bottom.
Oh yeah.
Were kind of his highlight. He said it's a massive weight lifted off the shoulders. He says, because despite what people might think at times, we are genuinely trying our hardest to get out of it and not to lose. We don't go out there to lose. And I think again that's another thing for fans to remember, and it is, these guys have got no interest in losing.
No, I don't believe it. Any of that. They want to win. They don't go out to lose. Do they? Anybody.
And fans get out the box because they care. They want the club to do well, and it's a release for a lot of people. And if it goes pear shaped, then it's a disappointment. But everything in perspective. Just remind me at 5 to 5 next week.
I will. Yeah.
What? On Boxing Day.
Yeah. Well, it was a good game. We played well. But
We owe them a beating, by the way, though, don't we?
Harrogate. Yeah,
Definitely
we lost.
Overdue.
We lost to them on Boxing Day away. Was it last season or the season
I
before?
think we played them on the 23rd last year at home and lost.
All right. Well, we played them away. I watched it on telly. It was we lost 3-2. Crowcombe home goal.
That was
2 years
defeat
ago.
from the jaws of victory, wasn't it?
We played really well in that game, and 2-1 up, and they came back, and then it was the 90. God knows minute.
2-1 up with about 10 minutes to go, weren't we?
Yeah, and then their winning goal hit the post, hit the back of Crowcombe, and went in.
Yeah.
Right, that was it. My turkey drumstick went on the floor.
Oh no! Oh you!
I know.
They're a bit sinewy then, though, aren't they? The turkey drumsticks. They're all right.
Yeah.
It's not like a chicken leg.
It's been sat there since Christmas. It's been sat there for 24 hours. So
it's
all right.
You better eat it.
Yeah, what a chicken drumstick.
Yeah, it's not a chicken drumstick. Yeah, Brian Law's like.
Yeah.
I launched. You could have launched. It's a good job he wasn't launching turkey legs across the room, though, isn't it?
You're not having any of them.
Took Benetti's head off.
Those are the days.
Yeah. Well, on that bombshell, we'll leave it there. Here's to a good Christmas period of games, which starts really the pre-Christmas game at Swindon, and then the games after that. Home to Harrogate, Port Vale. One game probably easier than the other on paper, but I think it's proved to be the case at home that neither is easy because the pitch is apparently a problem.
He's mentioned that a few times, hasn't he?
Pick up on it particularly, but there's quite a few people saying. I mean, I would hardly call it a ploughed field, as someone did it. I think it was a Crewe fan over the weekend called it a ploughed field. It's hardly that, but there certainly must be pretty heavy in places.
He mentioned it in the interview again,
David.
He says, "I'm not." He says that the pitch, but he says, "But I don't want to talk about that." He just did. He just did.
Again, it is what it is. Same for both sides, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah,
and it's ours. So if anybody should be able to have an advantage playing on it, it should be us.
It looks good, doesn't it? But we don't. But we're not playing on it. It must be heavy.
It must be a bit heavy. But we live in a naturally sort of clayey sort of area, don't we? So.
That's it. You can't polish a turd, can you? So.
Yeah, but you can roll it in glitter.
I have done the other day.
Have we got our title for the podcast there? I can't create an icon of somebody polishing a turd while rolling it in glitter. It's just on that. Then we'll end, and we'll see you next week after the Swindon game, and we'll be hoping we've put the willies up Mr. Holloway again.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Hang on. Ooh, Mr. Holloway. They're the ghost of Christmas future.
We're going to scare the shit out of him.
Let's hope so. Stay well, mate, and I'll speak to you next week.
All right, mate. Yeah, all right, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers. All the best. Up the Mariners.
Up the Mariners.
Up the Mariners.
Thank you for watching or listening to tonight's show. You can catch us on YouTube, podcasts on Podbean or Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on our social media channels of Instagram, Twitter, or X as it's now known, TikTok and Facebook. Please like, subscribe and share at every opportunity. It helps us a lot. Thanks a lot. Bye.